Alright guys, welcome back to Urban Reef. I know it's been quite a long time, but I did not have much to update you guys on. Hadn't gotten any new corals, and the fish were still in the quarantine tank. And they were probably in there for a good 3 months, but I'm pretty sure I've got it all straightened out. So everybody's back in the tank. I'll give you a quick rundown on some of the growth that I'm actually seeing now and a few new additions. So alright, let's get started. Alright guys, as you can see, the donut coral is still doing good in the front. It's still in the same spot it's been in. Hasn't changed. But if you look to the back left there, I have a rainbow pectinia. Decent piece. My son actually picked that out the other day when we went to the store. As you can see to the right, the candy canes haven't changed at all. Nothing new. My chalice coral, to be honest with you, it's actually starting to grow down, not so much up. I don't know why, but hey, it's growing, and it's growing quick. Bunch of new heads and rings. The green bubble tip coral has got about 2 new heads on the bottom. Gonna start coming out soon. The purple, I think stylo up top here on the left is growing. It's growing slow. Nice white tips. Polyps are always out and moving around. The acros that I had picked up at the Lancaster frag swap at that fish place that I ended up bleaching have actually started to come back really nice. I'm thrilled that they're coming back. I do have a little bit of hair algae on them, but that's because I've been dosing stump remover until the fish had been added. Because I had no nitrates in the system, and the corals did not like it at all. The euphilia really closed up. I have my other candy cane coral right there. Nothing new there either. Not really splitting, not really growing, just kind of hanging in there, staying the same. I have my Favia down here. That thing's growing quick. Probably would have grown a little quicker if it was glued down. It kept getting knocked off by my hermit crab. There he goes. The purple and green octospawn here has got 7 new heads underneath. I don't know if you guys can actually see one. If the tentacles get out of the way, I don't think we're going to get to see one. The purple hammer right here also has just 2 new heads. But the crazy part was I didn't notice all these new heads till I was actually talking to the guy at the store about why my SPS coral were growing and my euphilia wasn't. And he said, one day you're just going to notice you got about 11 heads. About the next day later, after I changed the impellers on my wave makers, I had noticed all the new heads coming in. Just crazy how things happen. I have my acans here. They're starting to encrust down on the rock. Doing really well. I had placed my Goniapura more towards the center of the tank in the shade because it wasn't really opening up. And now it is stretching out like it used to, really starting to grow. I've seen a couple new little heads come out. My other candy cane right here, once again, no change. Now if we come up here to the center of the tank, I have a brand new tricolor acro, which is a great piece. I love it. It's right in the middle. Nice bright green polyps, nice purple, stony coral section, skin as you can call it. Now the one that's really grown that you guys will definitely see the difference to is the, oh god, now I forget. Is this SPS right here? Oh, we'll come back to it. I forget what it is right now. Oh, my bird's nest. How do I forget that? So I mean, that thing's just taking off. It's getting big. Then I have my SPS to the right. I'm not exactly sure what this is. Nobody's really been able to tell me what it is. I haven't really been able to find what it is. But it is basically just plating out onto the rocks. And I think it's starting to grow up and out because I'm getting these nice new purple tips coming off the ends. Right there, you can see the one on the far left shooting out to the left. And I got one here on the right, far right. They're really, really blue. And they're just starting to shoot up. And I've noticed my alkalinity is really starting to be taken up. And then there is the other piece of the acropore that I got at the Lancaster frag swap at that fish place that I had bleached out. I basically just watched all the skin come off. But as you can see, it's happy in the back. I had talked to Pat Murphy from Murphy's Reefing, and he said just feed it some reef chili and try to keep your water as stable as possible. And I'll tell you what, took his advice and it has worked great. A hydrophora that I had picked up at the Lancaster frag swap has not really come back, but if you look at that left branch, it's actually starting to get some tissue back right there in the center. I've just noticed that starting to grow in the past week or two. And if we go down here, my plate coral, Montifora plating coral, has really been growing. I can almost see this thing grow by the day on just judging how close it gets to the rock on the left. It's starting to plate up a little bit, and it is bright, very bright. My fire and ice zoanthids that I had gotten, I had one, now I have 9 heads. It's growing quick, pretty nice. Then if you come down here, I was also able to pick up a Duncan coral the other day, along with that tricolor and the pectinia. And this thing's color is amazing, it's great. I had a Duncan coral that did really good in my system before the crash on my last system, or on this system, when it was only like a month old. But that's really starting to come back. Then I have my gold tip hammer here that I moved over into more to the front. That is doing great. Doesn't extend out very far, but it's got 1 or 2 new heads coming in. And then I have my acans here that are actually growing real quick, doing really good. Starting to come down on a rock. I have my blastomusa right here. New heads seem to be coming in on this constantly. The heads are getting bigger, and when I feed the reef roids and the reef chili, I can really notice the heads closing up and taking it in. And then I have the Ultra Grandis Pally over here. Come around the side, you'll be able to see the new heads in the back. It's growing great. I have no complaints with any of the corals in my system, just fish. As you can see, there's the bird's nest again. That thing's just getting huge. I really hope the tricolor acro and my other one starts to take off. I really think it will. I do have a little bit of hair algae, but that's from dosing the nitrates. But nothing I can't deal with. So Mike Lemon, if you're listening, let's see your tank. Let's forget about that hair algae and let's get back on this YouTube thing, man. Alright guys, that is my update, and I'll just give you a little update on the fish too. I have no new fish. I did not want to add anything to any of the quarantine tanks or the system before I got it stable with what I had. I did not have any sand for the wrasse, Melanoris wrasse, in the quarantine tank, but he did not mind. I would say there's a couple days I came down and saw him laying on the bottom and thought he was dead, and then all of a sudden, whoop, right back to life. He's just sleeping on the bottom because he's got no sand to bury himself in. So it freaked me out a couple times. The fox face Was never really yellow, never had his real color out in the tank. He was pretty stressed out, but always eating, always going, doing what he needed to do. And now that I put him back in the main display, he's just colored up nicely. Great colors. I do feed Pedimysis, some other frozen bloodworms, and I also dose it with vitamins, and I feed every day. I feel that, you know, if I go a couple days without them eating and I don't notice what's going on, or I realize that they're not eating, it's probably too late, especially in quarantine. So I just try to keep them healthy, fat, and eating. And as you can see, the Picasso clownfish, he's getting quite a decent size, as my son calls him, Clowny. So, and my triggerfish, he's doing great. Always still has a personality. And guys, I think the reef tank is finally starting to fill out nicely. So here it is. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and thanks for hanging in there. I know it's been a while since my last update. Thanks.